as is tradition, we always invite a customer to participate in Fliplet Summit, give a bit of a case study, talk about how they're using Fliplet, share some knowledge with other customers. And today, Rux is going to be joining me. If you have any questions for Rux at any point, please just put them into the QA feature inside Zoom. Only Rux and I will be able to see them. And if for some reason we run out of time, we'll do our best to kind of follow up with you afterwards. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Rux. Rux, would you like to kick off by introducing yourself, please?
And thank you for inviting me to speak at the Fliplet Summit. It is a real honor to be sharing this time with you and your guests today. My name is Rux Andreiasi. I go by Rux, and I'm a business transformation manager at Bernard Lerner Gervais alternative legal service provider called BLG Beyond. A long name, I know. I have been with BLG, Canada's law firm, for over 13 years now, and in Beyond for over 2. My mission as a business transformation professional is based on 3 pillars: to infuse BLG Beyond with operational excellence, to shape a vibrant culture that resonates with our values, and to pioneer innovation in any shape and form. And let me explain what we do in BLG Beyond and what our services are. BLG Beyond's goal is to envision a simpler, more effective way to meet our clients' pressing legal challenges, to deliver BLG's proven service and knowledge backed by fast, consistent, and cost-effective methods and tools. Our services are in listing, lending, e-discovery, business immigration, securities compliance, IP strategy, consulting, and legal talent on demand. This is the shortest intro I was able to come up with. I'm super excited of the next questions and to tell you more about our Fliplet journey.
Thanks, Rux. That was a very detailed introduction, but I appreciate you going into so much information because it obviously gives our audience context that they may not know about BLG. Okay, so tell me a bit about what have you decided to use Fliplet for?
This is the perfect first question, Ian, and I'm going to give a very short answer. We developed our app to build and elevate team engagement and to help improve communication across BLG Beyond.
Okay, can you tell me a bit more about it? Maybe show me some exciting things that you've been working on and tell me a bit more about your experience as well, building the app with Fliplet.
Of course. I'm going to respond by sharing the challenges we faced before implementing the app. Our engagement strategy relied heavily on emails and meetings for communication. We utilized monthly leadership updates delivered by quarterly newsletters and emails for high importance or time-sensitive business communications. Our method was reactive, not proactive. And in this world of an abundance of emails and meetings to drive engagement and communication, we had no ability to measure our engagement. We spent a lot of time collecting, drafting, getting these things approved and out the door. We needed a solution. Let me explain how we all started with Fliplet. At the beginning, it was just a bold idea of building an engagement app to keep everyone updated and connected, a place where we can bring our cultural values to life. One of my colleagues in BLG Beyond reached out to our knowledge and innovation team and asked for potential ideas and solutions. Fliplet was introduced as a possible option. At that time, the firm was testing Fliplet for other projects and initiatives, and our request became a new project. A week later, we had our first demo with the Fliplet team. That demo felt like a dream come true, to be honest. We had the solution, and now all we needed to do is to give it life. I could spend much longer than the time assigned to me today to tell you about the beginning of our journey with Fliplet. But I want to share with you what are the specific and best features of our app. If you just give me 2 seconds to just share my screen. So we developed a brand for our app. It is Galaxy themed, and its name is Galaxy. During the development of the app, before the launch, we engaged the entire BLG Beyond team, asking them to provide us with ideas how to brand the app. We added all ideas into a survey and asked everyone to vote on their favorite option. Galaxy theme came on top, so we branded everything around it. We used planets and words like infinity and intergalactic and galaxy guardians. And this slide here just shows you a few of those examples. So on the top, you can see two banners that we developed and included in our app. And we have them in English and French because we are a bilingual firm. Underneath here, you can see the logos that we developed, and they're quite fun. We're very proud of them. And in the third row, I always do this. In the third row here, you can see that how the banner looks with the words that we selected. So, for example, under our ecosystem, we have under other categories like the directory of our people, our services. We have our offices. The Galaxy Guardians team is the team that updates the app and answers all the questions and deals with all requests that we get in. And Intergalactic Resources is our library of documents. So here we have tips on how to use Fliplet and Galaxy. We have tips on the reward points that we will talk about a little bit later, and a list of FAQs. I will switch to the next slide, and I saw that's so easy by just moving a little bit the mouse. And I'm going to explain another feature of our app called our business feed. Its name is InfiniFeed. InfiniFeed is our forum where our team members can stay up to date on BLG Beyond news like client highlights, talent and IT updates, new team members, promotions, certifications, articles published or of interest to an alternative legal service provider, and more. With InfiniFeed, our team members don't have to look through emails that could have been misfiled or deleted. They can just go in one spot and find what they need. Even more, there is a customizable search feature in Fliplet that can help everyone find what they're looking for. And they also have a bookmark feature. And let's take a look at these examples here. So these are some examples of someone. We have a volunteer opportunity in our Toronto office, so we posted about that so everyone knows. We congratulated our team for achieving, e-discovery team for achieving their certifications. We have a monthly bulletin that our securities compliance team is putting out, so we are sharing that with everyone. We achieved our goal for collecting books for a book drive. And then we celebrated Earth Month in April. And what's interesting here on the last example that I gave, at the end of each month, we do a summary of all the posts with links. And anyone can just open one single post and click on the article or post of interest. And I mentioned the bookmarking feature. So you see this little navy blue sign. If you just select that and click on it, it will just bring up the articles of interest to you. So I usually flag and bookmark all the articles related to equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I also do the monthly summary posts. So if I click on that, I get them all. I'm going to switch to the next slide. And here is the third feature of our app that I want to tell you about. It's our social feed called GalaxyGram. GalaxyGram is our forum where we share with our colleagues how we spend our free time. It's the place where we can start or engage in a business discussion based on an article we read or a podcast we listened to. GalaxyGram is, in fact, our very own Instagram. And here are some simple examples, like someone posted about the solar eclipse, someone about their scuba diving experience in Mexico. This is an interesting AI article that someone shared with the entire team. Again, an Afro dance experience that one of our team members participated into during Black History Month. This is just how one of our team members' daughter is studying for a math exam. And here we are just celebrating Marvin's 4th birthday, our buddy Marvin. I am going to switch to the next slide and explain to you about the most liked feature of our app. And this is the gamification and rewards feature. Who doesn't love to get reward points for using an app that they enjoy? More engagement into the app gives our users more points towards rewards that can be claimed for promo items, educational courses, gift cards, or donated to local charities. I have an example here of my page and how many points I collected so far this year. So I'm at 174 points, and I reached the first level of points, which is the level is called Mercury. So you need to collect 100 points to reach the first one. And this symbol on top of the page is just showing the level that I'm at. So I'm working towards my next level, which is Mars. Once I reach that 200 points, if all the information will change on the top here, I will have at least 200 points. My level will be Mars. And this symbol here will be changed to the red symbol of Mars. And Ian, if I may, before you ask me another question, I would like to just add a few words on the benefits that we saw immediately when we started using the app. And I have a last slide for this here. Here we go. We knew by the word of mouth that team members were happy with the app, but now we were able to monitor exactly who had seen the content through Fliplet analytics. The metrics told us that 45% of users viewed content of the app, while 35% of the users engaged with the content of the app within the first two weeks of being published. We launched the app on June 30th, 2023, and by the end of the year, 98% of the team members connected to the app and visited at least one page. We are so happy. We were so happy to see these numbers, and I'm still very happy to report on those numbers.
They're amazing numbers. Thanks very much for being kind of so open, Rux, and sharing kind of what some of the key features and some of the content looks like, but also going into the usage data. So were there any challenges you faced kind of during the build process or maybe the launch process that you could share? Any tips?
Well, in designing a robust app from scratch is no joke, but our great collaboration and partnership with the Fliplet team helped us overcome the issues that came along. Our challenges were around BLG Beyond project team changes, time management, and the power to incorporate all new great ideas that kept coming in and still meet the set timelines. Here are some examples. Let me tell you about the BLG Beyond project team change. At the initial demo that we had with the Fliplet team, I was an advisor on the project, not the lead. Our project was led by a BLG Beyond project manager, and the development of the app was done by one of our bold interns. Together, the PM and the intern shared the design of our app. And if I remember, started the design of the app. And if I remember well, 6 weeks later, they announced us that the PM was moving into another role in the firm and would no longer be available to help. And pretty much at the same time, the intern was finishing his term with us. That was when I took over the project as lead and developer. It was crazy. And I remember that feeling that I had during demo of Fliplet being the solution for our engagement challenge. And I did not have to think twice to take it over. The Fliplet team trained me very well, and they were very patient with my silly or repetitive questions. And I'm telling you, there were lots of those. This transition put us a few weeks behind the schedule, but with no confirmed launch date communicated to the BLG Beyond team, it was not a big impact. A second example of a challenge was time management. And this was during the process of customization of gamification. When we started the development of our app, Fliplet had a robust gamification package that served us as a strong foundation. However, we started to offer our team members more unique and specific ways to collect reward points. So we needed additional customization. The Fliplet team was eager to explore our ideas, and we worked together to find solutions. But customizing the gamification process was sometimes challenging to our timelines. So we need to test, pivot, and change and test again. I want to share with you some example of what Fliplet team helped us create. We attached reward points to actions such as logging in for the first time into the app, responding to surveys, updating individual profiles, suggesting events, and more. We are very proud of what we have achieved through the partnership filled with innovative ideas on both sides. This process was a lot of fun, and it was a great collaboration between the team, but it did push our initial timelines by a couple of weeks. The solution that we came up with to solve this problem and to not move the launch date was to transfer some of the static informative pages and the new ideas that kept coming in our way to a phase 2. This was suggested by our Fliplet advisors, and it was a great idea.
Okay, thanks, Rux. So, I mean, firstly, there are no silly questions when you're learning how to use Fliplet, so don't worry about that. That's what we're here.
I'm sure there were lots of those. I would have liked to keep track of how many there were.
And then secondly, I mean, it sounds like it was a real team effort to kind of figure out what would be an appropriate kind of set of awards and how the gamification system worked. And it's always fun collaborating with our customers. So kind of, you mentioned some stats earlier about 98% kind of engagement rate and kind of consumption within like the first 2 weeks or at launch. Can you tell us a bit more about what has the kind of overall long-lasting impact been of the app on BLG Beyond?
Of course. It was a big and positive impact. We are a fully remote team with team members in 5 cities across Canada. And this app, like I mentioned before, was a necessity. With Galaxy's help, we facilitated communication and collaboration among team members. We recognized our team members for their achievements, like certifications for project, collaboration and support. We provided one platform for sharing important BLG Beyond updates and information. We encouraged feedback and fostered a culture of continuous improvement, agility, and collaboration. And most importantly, Galaxy helped us stay connected and enhance our team members' experience. I want to mention and share with you more data that demonstrates our app's effectiveness in driving engagement. In the first month, 49% of the users engaged in the app, and we recorded over 2,000 screen views. Also in the first month, InfiniFeed, our business feed, had 312 interactions. GalaxyGram, our social feed, had 270 interactions. And our rewards page had 114 interactions. 98% of the team members connected to the app in the first 6 months. I mentioned this number before, but in the last slide, but we're so happy about it. And also, what we have seen is that 100% of the new joiners connected to the app, which is amazing. So we are promoting it really well.
Thank you for sharing the data insights. Are there any kind of tips or suggestions that you could make to other customers that are on today's call that, or maybe kind of tips or kind of comments that you yourself would follow if doing a future Fliplet app?
Yeah, of course, Ian. We definitely learned many lessons while developing and using the app. And I will share a few of those with you today. I will start with a personal one. I'm so happy to say that I personally learned that I can build an app in Fliplet. And I share this with everyone on the call today because if I can, anyone can. I learned that brainstorming and collaboration are magical. Our branding and our partnership with the Fliplet team are perfect examples. I learned that all ideas are great, and there is never a bad idea. An idea generates another one when you collaborate in a safe space. I learned that feedback is key to success and driving that success. We asked for feedback, we used that feedback, and we showed our team how we used it. I also want to share some tips and best practices for maximizing the app's effectiveness. As you start your app, you need to identify the why. Why are you building this app? What is the purpose of the app? And once you identify the purpose, you need to continue to refer to it during the development and whenever you're unsure of what to do next or how to prioritize. The purpose keeps everyone true and aligned when we design a project. When you plan your app, don't think that your success is defined by the launch. Launch is just the beginning of your path to success. Use the expertise of the Fliplet team to help you reach those app's goals that you set for yourself. Develop the plan for your app in phases and stick to it as much as possible to keep your project and your plan on track. And one last tip: form an internal team that develops the app that has a variety of skills, like project management, technical, organizational, someone with a visionary approach, and someone with a bold approach. It is always good to have a diverse team.
Yes, I think that makes many of those tips make a lot of sense and very much align with kind of the lessons that we've learned over the years as well, Rux. So good to hear that you came to similar conclusions. So what are your future plans for the app?
Our first priority, Ian, is that we are ready to activate a new idea within the app anytime if it speaks to our purpose. Priority number 2, we want to continue using the app's analytics to do timely assessments of pages and see which ones get the most and the least activity. Keeping content fresh and customized to the team needs, it's very important to us. Priority number 3 is that we want to develop custom analytics for our unique point system. And we are working with the Fliplet team on this right now. This will help us see how and where team members collect their reward points and identify if there are any gaps. And our fourth priority that I want to highlight today is that we want to develop new pages within the app that support and elevate our mentorship and professional development programs. We do also have some long-term goals, I will list just a few of them. One is to explore and start using the AI language French feature, as we are a bilingual firm. We want to explore and test other AI features that Fliplet has available. We want to develop other apps for small social and equity, diversity, and inclusion events. And we want to keep spreading the word in other departments of our app and its benefits.
Sounds like you've really got a good plan there, Rux. So I have a couple of questions that I want to ask you, but before I kind of dive in and ask, I just want to remind attendees that if they have any questions for Rux, just pop them into the QA feature. We have about 5 minutes, I think, where we can take some questions. So if you do have any questions, anything about the app or the screenshots or the data that Rux has shared, feel free to post it in the QA feature. So my first question, and I noticed this when you were sharing the screenshots earlier, and you mentioned that your app is in dual languages. How have you found it is managing a dual language app? Like, what do you find easy and what do you find hard?
When we started developing the app, we thought about English, of course, first, and then we realized that we have to have the same in French. We are a bilingual firm. Everything that we do at the firm has to be bilingual. And it was not always easy for the reason that we were still, like I said, testing, pivoting, prioritizing. So when I mentioned before that to keep everything on the set timelines was to defer some of our pages and some of our features to a phase 2, this is what we did with the French. We launched the English version of the app at the end of June 2023, and we moved the launch of the French side with internal approvals to September. So I think we launched, if I remember well, the last week of September.
Okay. So you delayed the launch of the French feature, and I think I noticed in one of your screenshots that in order to kind of accompany English and French, do you just kind of put the English first and then the French after?
Yes,
or is that just only in that particular screenshot or feature that you use it that way?
Yeah, we try and publish in posts in InfiniFeed, our business feed, in both languages, but there are exceptions. Sometimes if we want to communicate something super quickly, we just post in English, and then when we get the French translation, we will post also in French and just update that particular post. That's why I'm super excited to explore and start using the AI language French feature in Fliplet.
That makes a lot of sense.
Solve a lot of the problem.
Yeah, particularly if you're having to kind of follow up with colleagues and ask them to translate something after it's already been posted. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to try to speed up that process. And we just received a question from somebody on the call just asking about the language feature. Do you have any ambition to expand to any other languages, or will it only ever be English and French?
It will only be English and French because our firm just has these two requirements. It would be fun to, explore Spanish. It's one of my favorite language, but I don't think it's going to happen.
And in relation to GalaxyGram, you included an example of kind of common posts, but I wasn't sure if they're kind of showing the most popular posts or if they're just showing an example of different posts. So in your experience, which are the posts that get the most engagement and people enjoy seeing the most in your app?
We get a variety of posts, and that was not always the case. I think when we started, people were just sharing photos of their walks and, the nature. And that kind of evolved. Like the more posts we got, the more the people got more comfortable. So now you see photos of their kids, you see photos of their pets, and it's more collaboration, it's more comfort. It feels like a family. It feels like you're comfortable sharing those type of moments from your life with the team members, and you do exactly how you do it with your friends on other social media platforms that we all know about, like Instagram and Facebook.
Well, that's nice. It sounds like you've kind of via the app been able to kind of bring people closer together if they're sharing more personal things, and I assume that they trust the app as well if they're sharing more personal information with their colleagues as well. And then just a final question. You mentioned that the project in the early days, it was kind of being run by some other people and you were involved in the project, and then you ended up inheriting the entire project. Are you able to recall, like, were there any major skills that you had to learn in order to kind of make that transition from being a stakeholder to kind of being the main person running it? Like, what were the gaps in your knowledge that you needed to improve?
The gaps in my knowledge were just, I was always worried that I'm going to make a mistake. So I always went to the Fliplet team saying, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? That's why I asked them those silly questions many, many times. I think as long as you want to do it, you can do it. I highlighted that before. If I can, anyone can. It's a matter of you want to just achieve what your plan is. And I think with help from the Fliplet team, without them, I don't think I could have been able to do it. It would have been too long. And time is not always on our side, as we all know. It's always a matter of, having the right people with you to support you. And I might have two colleagues on the call today that listen. And without them, I would have not been here. And also the Fliplet team, like all the time when I had questions, I booked time with them, or I chatted with them, or I sent them an email. So it was extremely helpful.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's good to hear. And I'm glad that we were able to support you in kind of, making the app a success. So before we kind of wrap up, was there anything else you wanted to share?
No, I'm super excited. It was fun to be here and share our Fliplet story with everyone.
Thank you so much, Rux. It was a real pleasure to have you participating.